Respected officers and fellow teammates, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. So now I'll be reading my PPDT script. From the picture, I can spot three people. One of them is age 52. She is a female and her mood is worried. The second person I can spot is a male, aged 19, and his mood is tense. The third person, age 23, sex female and mood is worried. And I can also spot a door and a window. Now I'll be reading my action box. This is a picture of a room. One person is standing by the door and other two are having a conversation. Now story box. Safwan Hassan is a 19 years old orphan. His father passed away when he was very little. One day his mother Shahana Begum falls sick. Even though it was very late at night, Safwan decides to go out and get medicine for his mother. Being aware of the situation, Shahana Begum forbids his son to go out of the house this late at night, as it would be not safe for him to go alone. Safwan assures his mother that he would take his older sister with him. Then Safwan and his older sister Safiya goes out to get medicine for their mother together. Shahana Begum takes the medicine and thankfully gets well very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, just number 4. Now I am reading out my PPDT script. At first, spot box. I have spotted 3 persons. First person, age 30, sex male and mood tensed. Second person, age 58, sex female and mood attentive. Third person, age 25, sex female and mood normal. Now action box. This is a picture of a house room inside. At first, the first person is talking to the second person and third person is listening to the first person. Right now, story box. Mr. Karim is a service holder. Nowadays, he gets a lot of work from his office. He cannot solve his problems and becomes tensed. He is worried about submitting the works. Noticing this, his mother, Mrs. Jamila, and his wife, Miss Rima, makes him understand that he should complete those works by one, not all together. Ms. Karim then understands and solve all the problems. Thank you.
Thank you, just number 5. Now I'm going to read out my PPDT script box. First of all, I'm going to read out my spot box. I spotted 3 persons. First person, age 60, sex female and mood serious. Second person, age 30, sex male and mood worried. And the third person, age is 25, sex female and mood tensed. Now I am going to read out my action box. That was a picture of a room. 3 persons were in a standing position. First person and second person were talking to each other. Third person was listening to them. Now I am going to read out my story box. Mr. Hassan was a service employee. He worked on a private company, but recently for a few days he lost his job. Now he is very tensed about his future. His mother, Mrs. Shahina, was talking to him. She told him not to be worried about his future. So she was continuously giving him advice and Mr. Hassan was listening to her in a very worried mood. Mr. Hassan's wife, Mrs. Orni, was also listening to them and she was also giving him suggestions. After listening to them, Mr. Hassan got relief from his frustration and he again started to find a new job. Finally, after a few days, he found a new job. Then he again could able to lead a better life. Thank you.
Thank you, just number 7. From the picture we were projected with, I had spotted 3 people. The first one was aged 56. She was female and her mood was worried. The second one was aged 32, his sex was male and his mood was anxious. The third one was aged 28, she was a female and her mood was attentive. I had further spotted a door, a window and a wall. Now, the things that I had written in my action box is that this is a picture of a room. A lady is standing at the doorstep and the other 2, male and female, are engaging in a conversation. Now, my story. Mr. Ashfaq Kabir's wife, Mrs. Zafira Kabir, is visiting the hospital. She is waiting at the doorstep for her husband to arrive. Mrs. Aklima Akhtar was worried because her son Ashfaq and his wife were leaving without breakfast. She insisted him to have his meal and then proceed on their journey. At the end, Mr. Ashfaq and his wife left after completing their breakfast. Thank you.
Thank you, just number 8. Now I'm reading out my PPDT script. At first, spot box. I have spotted 3 persons in the PPDT script, and first person is age 42, sex female, mood anxious. Second person, age 28, sex male, mood furious. Third person, age 20, sex female, mood upset. Now action box. That is a picture of inside a house. First person is trying to stop second person. Third person is standing beside the door and listening to them. Now story box. Kamal is an educated boy. After the death of his father, he became the only earning member of their family. After completing his orders, he wanted to go to the city for a better job. He wanted to join Army BMA short course. But his mother and sister is very worried for him as he is the only son of their family. They told him to do a normal job because military jobs are very tough. However, Kamal refused to do so. He said that he wanted to achieve both respect and success. So he went to Dhaka for his goal and started to work for his goal. After a few months, he got selected in ISSB. His mother and sisters are very proud of him. Thank you so much.
Just number 10. Now I'm going to read out my PPDT script. At first, spot box. In the picture, I spotted 3 persons. First person age is 40, sex female and mood is worried. Second person age is 27, sex male and mood is serious. Third person age is 21, sex female and mood is normal. Now action box. In the picture is inside a room and 2 persons are having conversation and a woman is standing beside them. Now story box. A young man named Arman who wants to participate in a mission. His wife Rahima supported his decision, but Arman's mother was very scared and worried for his son's life. So for that reason, she is holding her son's hand, but his son is convincing her mother, and Mr. Arman is determined in his goal that he will participate in the mission and make the country free from the attack of the enemy. Thank you.
Now, from the picture, I had spotted that there are 3 people. So from their attire, it is pretty evident that 2 people are female and the other one is a male. And from the age that I had assumed, I can clearly say that one is the mother of the male and the other is his wife. Now, it is pretty evident that the male is quite anxious in here. As I had discussed in the story that the male's wife is going to the hospital because she's sick. So it's pretty evident why he's anxious. And the mother is worried because both his son and his son's wife are leaving without having their breakfast. Now the worry is also pretty reasonable because if you go to the hospital without having your breakfast or on an empty stomach, it could be bad for your health. So the reason why she's worried is explainable as well. And also the wife who is standing at the doorstep is listening to their conversation very attentively. So that explains her mood of being attentive and adherent to each of their words. That's why I chose with the story I went with. Thank you, everyone.
From the picture, I saw that there was a door and a window, so I assumed that it was a room. And we can also spot 3 people. 2 of them were wearing, from their outfit, we can assume that they were female, and the other one was male. And from their age, I assumed that one of them was the mother of the man, and the other one was his sister. So from their facial expressions, it was very clear that the mother was very worried for her son, and the son was also worried that his mother was very sick. So the son decided to go out to get medicine for his mother. But as he's in his teens and he's very young, his mother was very tense that it would be not safe for him to go alone. So he took his sister to get medicines, and then he got the medicines, and then his mother took the medicines and got well. Thank you.
I've spotted that there were 3 persons, and according to their outfit, I assumed that one of them was male and the 2 were female. The male was looking very tensed mood because he lost his job due to pandemic situation, and the one who was holding his hand was his mother, and he was giving him to the suggestions to how to lead a better life. And the one who was behind to them, she was the wife of the male person, and she was also giving him to the suggestions, and they were talking about this matter. Thank you.
This was a picture inside a house, as there was the wall and a door in the background. And there was 3 persons, and according to their dressing style, I thought them, first of all, one of them was man and 2 of rest was female. And according to their facial expression, I thought one of them was tense. The male was tense, and his mother, who was holding his hand, was also speaking something. So it can be said that the mother was advising his son not to be worried and solve his problems one by one. And his wife, who was standing beside in the background, she was listening to his wife, his husband and her mother. So it can say that he was also listening what his mother-in-law was speaking, and he was supporting his mother-in-law silently. Thank you.
So from the picture I saw that there was a window and door. So I assumed that it was an indoor picture and it was inside of a house. And from the picture I have spotted 3%. And by looking at the gesture, I think that 2 of them are women and 1 of them are men. So I think that the woman holding the man was his mother, and the girl sitting beside them was his sister. And I think that his mother is very worried. His mother and sister is very worried for him as he was leaving for his job. And I think that they were very worried because he was the only son of their family, and they were his mother was both worried and also inspiring him for his better self. And I think that's my story. That's why I write this story.
In the picture, observing the environment, it seems that it's an indoor picture, and in the picture there was 3 persons, and observing their dressing code, it seems that there was 2 women and a man, and the woman who is holding a man's hand is his mother, and there was a woman who is standing behind them is his wife, and the man is going on a mission, and for that reason his mother was very scared for his son's life, and the man was trying to convince his mother, and her mother was agreed with his son's decision.
In the projected picture, I saw 3 persons. According to the dressing style and haircut, there was 1 man and the 2 of them were female. One of the female was holding a man's hand, and I think she is his mother. His mother was speaking to his son, and his son was worried. So I think he was pressured somehow, and his mother was advising him. And his wife, who was standing behind, she was attentively listening to his mother-in-law. So I think she was supporting silently her mother-in-law. Thank you.
Observing the environment of the picture, it seems that the picture is inside a room, and in the picture there was 3 persons present, and observing their dressing code, it seems that there was 2 women and a man, and the woman who is holding the man's hand is his mother, and his mother was very scared of his son's life because he is going to participate in a mission, and the man is convincing his mother. So his mother convinced and agreed with his son's decision, and the man's wife also agreed with the man's decision. Thank you.
From the projected picture, I found there were 3 persons, and according to their dressing sense, I assumed that 1 of them were male and 2 were the female. And the male, according to my view, the male was very tensed because he lost his job, and the mother who was holding his hand was his mother, and he was continuously giving him the advice and told him to not to worry about his future. And the one who was standing behind to them, according to my view, she was his wife, and she also suggested him for not to worry about his future.
Now, from the picture, I had observed that there are 3 people. So, from their dressing attire, it was pretty evident that 2 of them were female and the other one was a male. Now, from the age that I had assumed for all 3 of them, I concluded that 1 of them was the mother of the male there, and the other woman was his wife. Now, it was pretty evident from their expression that the mother was worried, the son was anxious, and the person standing at the doorstep, or the wife, was attentive. The reason why they were attentive or they had the expressions they did was because the wife was pretty sick and they were going to the hospital, and that would explain the anxious expression of her husband. But the mother was worried because all of them were leaving without having their breakfast. Now, if you're going to a hospital without having your breakfast, the patients are required to have their breakfast, are required to have their food. If you're prescribed with medicines, it might come out bad for your health. That's why the mother was worried, because they were leaving without having any sort of meal.
Okay, I think I agree with my previous chess numbers. In the picture, there were 2 female and 1 male. The male seemed to be in his 20s, and the other 2 women, one woman was his mother, and even though in my story I wrote that it was his sister, I think I do agree with my other team members. It was his wife. And from their facial expressions, it seemed that the mother was very worried for his son. And the son, I don't think the son is an orphan. He doesn't have a father. So he is the man of the house. So now it's his responsibility to take care of his mother. As his mother is very sick, he is going out late at night to get medicine for his mother, but his mother is very worried that it's very late at night and it's not safe for him. So his mother is forbidding him to go out this late at night, but he will go out and get medicine for his mother.
Would you come to a common story?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one person tell the common story.
So from the picture, we had spotted 3 people. One of them was aged 56 and she was a female and her mood was worried. The second person, he was a male and his age was 40 and he was anxious. And the third person was a female and her mood was attentive and she was aged 38. Now, the things that we had spotted in the action box, or we could write in the action box, is that a lady was standing in the doorstep and the other 2 male and female were engaging in a conversation. The story that all of us together came up with is that the son, Mr. Ashfaq, was going on the outskirts of town for his job, and his mother, Mrs. Aklima Akhtar, was worried for her son, and his wife, who is listening to both of them having a conversation, she was very attentive to them and she was supporting them. But after that, Mrs. Aklima Akhtar eventually got convinced and she wished the best of luck to his son, and his son went to the outskirts of town and went ahead with his job and lived with his good salary and supporting his family. So that's the story all of us came up with together.
So everybody agree with chess number 8?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for participating picture perception and description test. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.